highlights later on, but you might have seen Cheryl and I there. That was Cheryl and I in 1986, and to be going out to tea with the same people 30 years later is pretty special. You guys are young, you haven't realised it yet, but that's going to be the best thing you do in lacrosse. And despite what you'd like to think, everyone tells you Australians the pinnacle. I'm telling you, when you play with your mates and you win stuff, doesn't matter, they've got to be in the Australian team with you. And that's the way to actually feel like, yeah, it's all worthwhile doing it. Now, this is one of the things, even who went to my president, I know Sarah sat through it. Anyone else sat through my under-19 thing? Yeah, a couple did. All right, this is one thing you probably did. I tell you about Entropy then? I don't reckon I did, because again, I learn and change things all the time. Now, Max has asked you to come in, and we were talking about this last night, because this is one of those things that's interesting, because one day, anyone ever have clothes in their bedroom on the floor? Does it happen to anyone else here? Okay, well, in my house, that man up there, one day I happened to say to him, darling, why do all the clothes end up in the floor in our bedroom? And he said, Jenny, it's the fourth law of thermodynamics, physics. Now, you were ready for that this morning, weren't you? Physics? Yep, you went, thank God she's talking about physics. All right? The truth is, everything goes to its lowest form of energy, given the fact that science says, given its chance, everything goes to the floor. When you have a party, where the dishes go? Sink. All right, well done. So, I like that. His dishes go to the floor and his. The truth is, nearly everything, and as human beings, today you're going to get 3 or 4 ideas, or 5 ideas, or 6 ideas, and guess what? What we know is we like the clothes. We go to our lowest form of energy, and by the way, it's not the 4th law, I looked it up, it's the 2nd law, so you're going to know all of this. So all of my athletes know this word entropy. Half of them remember the word, the others, all we have a link is every time they see clothes on the floor or dishes in the sink, it's a link to going, am I doing anything better or differently than I was when I heard Jenny? Because here's the interesting thing. This is a bell curve, and it just shows in everything we do, this is average, this is normal, all right? These are people who are a bit better, lots better, X are the champion factors. Up this end is the ones who go worse. Now, what we actually know is, after you hear a good talk, you know, even in your businesses, everything we do, after you hear a great talk, after you hear someone come in, most people, average people, do nothing differently. Change nothing. So in other words, Jenny's going to give you 20 ideas, coaches will go away going, oh, that was really good. And I know 70% won't do anything different. Then I know some will start to do one different. And guess where it moves them? Along the curve. They're starting to get better. Some people do 2 things differently and some people do 3 plus. Now, if you want to be a champion, if I'm asking these girls, it would be really interesting if I said, name me 3 things you've done differently since I talked to you a year ago. And if they're truly going to be down this end, my brother Mark said to me, and I've got about 5 others who are elite people, and they said to me, oh, I give people things to do and they don't do it. And I've stopped them being frustrated. Now, anyone had that happen in their job or things like that? They give people things to do, they don't do it. I've now started to teach my brother to forgive people because they're normal. Normal people don't do much differently because it's hard. Their lives are caught up with it. But if I can convince you from this talk to go away, and coaches and that, to think of 1 thing different or 2 things different, and maybe every time you see clothes on the floor now, you're going to think of Jenny going, am I doing the same thing as I was doing last time? And it's really important because this guy here changed a lot of the world. He's changing the world. Who's heard of Daniel Kahneman? Of course you haven't. He's only a Nobel Prize winner, old psychologist, and he won it for economics. If you read his book, it's actually hard to read, but you'd save a lot of money and you'd make a lot of money. He proved all the economic theories, most of you have sat through it at school doing economics, are no different than toss of the coin. You know why? Because every time we think we're teaching people stuff, we think we're teaching robots. Because if I gave robots 10 good ideas, you reckon they'd do them?